I used to bloodlet everyone at all my medical camps when I'm overseas. No one gets acupuncture until they get bloodlet. That's how powerful it is. I don't do it a lot in America just because of time. And some people are really weird about bloodletting. Again, I only bloodlet on my patients I feel comfortable with. Right? It's almost like a relationship. There's certain things you say on a first date and there's certain things you don't. I mean, and it makes sense to people, but I certainly wouldn't bloodlet the very first treatment unless they're really, really, I don't know what else to do. But it's usually I have a relationship with my patient. They trust me, I trust them. I speak to them about bloodletting. It can be a little weird, especially in America, and then we do it. But it's a really, really nice tool. I equate it to sailing. In sailing, if any of you, I've sailed all over the place, and everyone's always so scared about storms. In the ocean, only about 3% of the time is there a deadly storm or a crazy, scary storm. But when that time comes, you better have the right damn sail. And so on a sailboat, we've got all these different sails, and there's what we call the storm jib. It's only good for sailing in a storm, but when the storm comes, it's the only sail you want to be using. Any other sail you use, you're going to be in frickin' trouble. And so this bloodletting is like that. It's a very specialized technique, but when you have a patient that needs it, I don't think anything else will do. And the one day that you need it, you're going to want to know that you learned it. The tongue acupuncture has two different ways to bleed. In TCM, they'll bleed locally at a spot, right? They're hurting their elbow, they'll bleed the crap out of the elbow. They got a headache, they'll bleed Tai Yang. They've got back pain, they'll bleed the back. You've seen all that stuff. Tongue acupuncture is the same way. They bleed distally. We rarely bleed where someone hurts. There's two ways to bleed in the tongue system. I said we don't needle the chest and we don't needle the back. The chest and the back are specific for needling, and there's points on the body that you needle. Very effective, very powerful. We won't probably get into those, but I will show you also in the tongue system there's zones. And they bleed zones on the lower leg, like there's the liver zone or the heart zone, the teeth zone, the neck and back zone, the occipital zone or the low back zone. There's all these zones. And when you bleed a vein within a zone, it has that effect that is mentioned, the tooth zone or the breast zone or whatever have you. So we'll bleed those areas, and they're down on the leg, and we can we'll work those in as we're working to internal. Very, very good. I told that one gentleman to bleed 0.7714. That's kind of in the heart zone. But bloodletting is very powerful. It's a little scary, it's a little different. But it's a very big tool that they use in the tongue acupuncture. So I at least want to kind of touch on it here and there.